Hi, it's Dawn. Welcome back. I've got working in a limited palette again today. I seem to do best when I don't give myself too many choices in life and in art. So here we are with a limited palette, and I'm doing Quinacridone Gold, Quin Rose. I just love all things quinacridone. I don't think there's a single pigment in that range that I don't like. Indigo, Cobalt, Turquoise, and Buff Titanium. And I've already gone ahead and made my mother, and then I've gone ahead and drawn my lines here, and then I used a 0.7 pencil, and it really was heavy on the line, so I knocked it back with a little white polymer eraser just to make it not quite so dark. But man, my goodness, it's still so dark. The other thing I'm struggling against is this is only the second page in the book. So this book is a little, it's tippy. So like when I do this, it flips the page like that. So the signature is reacting. So I'm going to grab a couple things and see if I can't just give myself a little bit more. I just grabbed a little bamboo cutting board that I keep around. I bought a 3-pack of them. It still pushes on the book a little bit, but I think it's going to give us a little bit better thing here. And then I have another little janky palette over here to the side. Actually, I got this at Crate and Barrel. It's not so janky, but it's janky with colors at the moment. So I'm going to try to just use this spot here in the middle and do my mixing. So my goal is to take my various colors and mix them with the mother or with themselves and get a really nice harmonious palette, hopefully. So we're gonna play with it, and I'm gonna start with Quin Gold because she's my favorite. She will always be my favorite. I just like her so much. And this is the old formulation still. I saw a couple tubes left, so it's the PO48 and the PY150. I think it's the old, I'm pretty sure it's the old formulation. Anyway, so that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna put some, try to keep all this on camera, which is sometimes a little bit of a challenge because, so what I try to do is like a big glob of Quin Gold, and then just barely tip your toe, if you will, into the test the waters of the mother. And I am not going to paint in Rose. I'm just going to, because what I'm going to probably do is I'm going to probably when I'm using a number 10 Escoda. I've been saying for a while I thought this was synthetic squirrel, but I saw some squirrel brushes the other day and they were black, so I don't know. This might be gold. I don't know. It might not be. I may have been telling you wrong this whole time. So it is synthetic something, but it is a round brush and I love it. It's my go-to. I've been thinking about getting another size, like maybe an 8 or a 6, and I may still do that. But what I'm going to do this exercise is I'm going to, instead of going in a sequential painting pattern, I'm going to hopscotch around with my color and try to be intentional with where I put the color. Put a little too much on there. So I kind of made up a little bit over here so I can keep going back to it. I'm trying to really work on my water control so that I don't have blooms and I keep more of the solid, it's more of a solid look, I guess. So what I'm doing now is just kind of pulling it back off again. Because I had too much on my brush, because this brush is really juicy. Alright, so without adding any more water to my brush, I'm just going to pick up a little more pigment, and we're just going to kind of jump around. So what I'm going to do each time I make a color, I'm going to paint 3 of them, or 5, or 7. but I'm just going to keep making mixtures. So next I might do Quin Gold, I should say, with the Quin Rose. And paint 3 to 5 of those. I don't think I'll do 7, but you never know. So 1, 2, I try to do triangle alignments, if you will. So I've got 1, 2, and now I'll put like 1 down here maybe, so that's in a triangle shape. Try not to put it in this. I try just to give it some variety and not put it in the same column or the same row. But if you do, you do, and that's okay too. And I'm painting just inside the pencil line, so when I'm done, I can erase those, and hopefully most of them will come up because I will not have overshot the mark, but no guarantees on that. Now one thing is, if you get your brush too dry, the pigment starts drying on you. I almost prefer to have it too wet than too dry. It's kind of a thing I've learned over the course of many months of making doodles and patterns. Okay, so without taking any color out of this brush or changing it or putting any water in it, I'm going to now grab some Quin Rose. And I'm going to add it to my Quin Gold. And I might add another teeny tippy bit of Mother to it. And now I'm going to do 3 more. It really doesn't matter where you put the 3, although I will probably pick a different row and a different column. Just because I can. Because right now, sky's the limit. And I love doing these little exercises like this, these little patterns. Because you get to play with some really fun, when you're working with a limited palette like this and not just randomness. So you've got too much here. So I'll try to pull back. You kind of get a feel for these colors better than if you just are, you know, I'm the first person to say I'll have a cleanup situation and I have no idea what colors I'm working with because I'm trying to clean up a palette. And it's become all muddled and mixed and I'm completely in the dark. But when you do it this way, and you've got like a little mixing palette off to the side, you're actually able to go, okay, that started as Quin Gold with Mother, and then we added Quin Rose to it and with a little more Mother, and so now we know what that color is. Now, unless you label it, will you remember? No. But if you make notes on the page, which I might end up doing over here in the margins, I might, you know what, I'm absolutely going to do that. I'm probably going to take this row out because it's so skinny. I don't like it. And I'll probably make some notes in the margins about the colors I used. Okay, stop talking. We're painting. All right. Let's see, triangle. So here, maybe here. Let's go up this time because that one was down. And it doesn't matter. You don't have to get, oh, am I off screen? I sure am. Sorry. Here, better. I'm just telling you my thought process, but it's not a rule. It's just telling you what my brain is saying in the moment when I'm doing it. This is kind of an earthy red to me. A bit orangish, of course, and that's what you would expect with a pink and a gold. And I find that if I go back over the shape a couple times, you get a nice consistent layer wash, but you can overwork it too, so just know. All right, now let's do one more. Now I can make the triangle here, I can make the triangle here, I can make the triangle here. Now let's make the triangle here. And again, this is just a guideline, it's not a rule. But my eye likes it. Okay, this is getting a little dry. So I just add a little more gold to it, but we're just going to go with it. We're just going to roll with it. Because I don't want it to dry like this. It's going to look icky. That's official. Icky. There. Like that. Okay. Now, let's grab some more Quin Gold. And then let's grab a little, do I want to grab Mother yet? Nope, let's grab some Indigo next. Wasn't quite enough Indigo for my liking. There we go. Ooh. And then let's grab a teeny tiny smidge of Mother. I think I want a little more gold in there though. Back to Quin. Oh, she's so pretty. She's so pretty. Well, now we look like the original Quin Gold. All right, a little more Indigo. All right, let's just go for it. Now I'm off the screen that way. Goodness gracious. Pay attention, Mosley. I'm trying. See how wet that is? That's where you end up with all those blooms. Okay. Now, it's almost a green. I know you can't see it like that. It looks brown. Because red and blue, sorry, yellow and blue, orange and blue, whatever, kind of make a brown. But it has a green to it. Okay. Definitely brown here. I picked up some more Mother on the side, I think. The Mother's definitely brown leaning. Okay. Now let's do Quin Gold. With some Cobalt Turquoise. Woo. By kind of doing these mixtures on the front side, like all the Quin Gold mixtures, then as you go through it, you get a, I don't know, it's a, kind of get a feel for, okay, I've done all those colors, now I'll go, by the time you go through all the iterations, then you don't have to worry, well, what is it missing, or what do I need to do more of, or what have you. Let's see, let's go top. Yeah, this is very green. I love it. Very olive. Oh yeah, it's beautiful. Love that olive. All right, let's go over here. Then maybe let's go here. I'm not making sure I don't put my hand in the paint. So I know enough about myself to know that if I don't give myself a limited palette, I go into brain lock, or a loop, an iteration loop I can't get out of. It's too much, so I have to limit my my palette. And what I typically do is I either go to a Pinterest. It's great for giving you palettes if you need inspiration for colors. Oh, I like that a lot. So I have a lot left that I made. So what I may do is add 2 more, because I've been doing 3s, but if you do even numbers, it doesn't work so well. But if you do odd, so I've got enough to do 2 more. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'll go on Pinterest, and I've got a board where I've saved a bunch of palettes, and I'll just, like, what mood am I in today? Am I in a summertime lemonade stand mood, or am I in a moody purples with blues mood, or whatever? And then I pick out usually 5. 5 seems to be a good number, because it's not too many, it's not too little, and it gives you some nice mixtures. And then I just do exactly what I'm doing here. Start with gold with mother, then gold with mother and pink and rose, and then gold, and you just go down the line. And then once you get through that, then I'm going to do a heavier version starting with pink, and I'm going to do pink with mother, and then pink with all the other colors, and before you know it, you've got this beautiful palette, because they all are mixed with each other, and you have this wonderful example of a harmonious palette with the colors that you naturally love already, because you picked it from a Pinterest board. Some people have those cubes, those color cubes, and they'll just like blind pull a color cube of the day. That's another way to do it, but you have to buy that, and I'm not trying to influence anybody to buy anything. So Pinterest is free. So is Google. Yeah, that's another thing I've done, is I will pull out a tube of paint that I go, okay, I want to play around with Cobalt Turquoise today, and then I'll go put in Google what colors will make a good palette with Cobalt Turquoise, and Google will tell me. Now this is my clean off book rather, and what I do is I do exactly what it sounds like. I clean off my palette. So I'm cleaning up this space where I just had this mixture, and I don't want to waste the pigment, because goodness knows Daniel Smith's expensive enough. And these items turn into, I cut them up and make backgrounds for cards or other projects. This is on watercolor paper. This is cheap watercolor paper from 5 and Below, I think. And it's just a spiral bound book, and I will sometimes, when I need to get my Posca pens primed, I'll use this book to prime my Posca pens and get my Jelly Roll pens started, and I just set it off inside. Okay. Clean my spot. Now just that amount's gone on my thing, and ready to start over. Oh, but I didn't want the blue. So the last color is Buff Titanium. So I'm going to grab, because there was just too much green going on for that to happen, and I just wasn't going to mix it with the Buff Titanium. I could have. I probably should have and showed, oh, that's what I should have done, but it's okay. All right, so I'm not going to contaminate my, too late, I already did. All right. So we're going to put a fair amount of buff titanium in here because it's got titanium white in it, which makes it very opaque. And then I'm going to put a touch of mother in it. Maybe a touch more. I know I sprayed that thing, but it's acting like it's all dried up. Okay, there we go. All right. This is just a nice chalky, like an ochre. That's pretty. Almost looks like a, yeah, like a opaque ochre. Very nice. Obscure movie reference. All right. I overshot the mark there and ran over the pencil lines, but that's okay. One of the reasons why I skip around when I do them this way is because it gives them time to dry. So now I can, this guy's dry now. This is the Quin Gold and the Quin Rose together, which is looking very orange about now. And boy, I really overran that mark, didn't I? Sure did. Oh well, it's okay. And now that's had a chance to dry, I can put, oh, see, that's where the book isn't level, because I got that piece of bamboo underneath. And I'm pulling this up, but I'm not going to mop it up because it's Quin Gold mostly, and it'll be fine with whatever color we do next, because the next color is going to be, I'm just kind of letting this sink back into the paper a little bit. All right, so now let's grab some Quin Rose, and let's go super heavy on the Quin Rose now compared to the Quin Gold. That gives us a really beautiful pink. Look at that. Oh my heavens. That's a coral-ish color. I'm loving that. I'm trying to pay attention to where the paper's wet. And you may have to take a break with some of this just to let, I'm not a big fan of a hairdryer. I feel like it moves, even when you use those heat tools and stuff, I feel like it moves the pigment around like a oil slick. And I much prefer to let it dry on its own. So at some point I may have to, and yes, I didn't put mother in this, I know, but that's okay. I might put a little in there now, but not a lot. What was I saying? I don't know. Oh, I may have to let it dry. That's okay. Get up, walk around. It's good to let the blood circulation get back into your legs, especially if you've been sitting for 30 minutes like I have. It's good to get up and take a turn. So now, see, as I'm doing this pink, see, these oranges are here, which is fine, but I don't want to put it right next to that orange. This was no problem. The ochre next to the orangey, and oh, Out of frame again. All right, I'm going to zoom out. This ochre is super soppy. It's just taking forever to soak into the paper. Come on, you can do it. So I'm being mindful of the pinks now because I got these 3 oranges, and I'm going to kind of go here. I'm just not going to go next to it. That's all I'm trying to say. I might go here. Yeah, let's go here. And there would be nothing wrong if you put the pink next to the orange, but for me, I try to, if I've got an opportunity to go someplace else, I'm going to. That's all. This corally pink. Queen Coral, if you've never tried it, oh, mercy sakes, is that a beautiful color. Speaking of coral, speaking of quinacridones. Love, 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 love. Okay, so then now let's take some more of this Quin Rose. Let's get her good and souped up, because what we're doing is making her the star, and then we're adding a little guest star with the indigo. It's going to make a purple, hopefully. There's so much Quin Coral and Quin Rose in here. It's taking a minute. It's taking a little bit more to bend it that way, but that's okay. All right, that's more of a raspberry. I was expecting more of a. It's all right. I'm going to add a little mother to this, just to deepen it slightly. Oh, that's pretty. That's like a raspberry. Like a dark boysenberry, actually, is what that makes me think of. Okay. So let's go here with Mr. Boysenberry. Or a black cherry almost. Of course, I'm naming these on the spot, and they're not official names. I'm sure somebody's done some color mixing of these and go, oh, this plus this equals that. But that's not my goal. Just in case the camera is not giving a good representation, I'm trying to tell you what the color I'm seeing on the paper. I may do 5 of these because I mixed up a bunch, and I'm liking this color. And sometimes when you have muted palettes like this, a dark color is really helpful. Yep. And just go with your gut when you're trying to pick where to put it. Just let your eye go, no, not there, there. Or no, that's perfect. There. Yeah, I'm liking that color. And I am holding my brush back about halfway up the handle. The closer you get to the bristles, the ferrule, the more control you're going to have. The further away, the more whimsical and illustrative feel you're going to have. Okay, so that's 5 of those. I'm just going to leave this color as is, and I'm going to grab the Cobalt Turquoise and see what we get when we do that. Could be very bizarre, but you don't know until you try it, right? Yeah, definitely muted that down to be more of a plum color. I just added a little bit of mother to it. Actually, a lot of mother, if I'm honest. That is definitely a plum. I'm going to grab a little more Cobalt Turquoise out of the big well and just see where it takes us. Oh, I like that color. That's very dusty plum. Okay, so let's see, how about here? Oh, that's beautiful. That is so rich. And like all creators, I'm going to say I'm not sure the camera's picking up on it, but it almost looks brown, I think, on camera, but it's not. It is definitely a rich, dusty plum. What's nice about mixing your own colors is what I can see when I'm doing this is I can see the cobalt coming through. At times the cobalt, oh, I went over the line. That's the part of the danger of doing it this way. But we're gonna just live with it. Even on the palette, I'm gonna bring the palette up. You see how you can see, hopefully you can see, like the cobalt's there, and then you can see the rose is there. And then, you know, of course the indigo is mixing in to make this purpley blue color. There's a little bit of indigo there, I think. But you're getting all these colors rather than when you use it out of a tube, it's pre-mixed and you get a color that's just never, I don't know. I just like it better this way. I think you get more depth this way. All right, I need a third one. What if I go up to the corners? I often like my corners dark. Feels like it tells you where your eye, oh, stop, stop, don't go past here, kind of thing. Might do 5 of these also. Again, I've got a lot of the pigment and I'm really enjoying this pigment. I might put one down here in this corner. I'm not gonna do all 4 corners in this color, but I may do, I'll wait to find another dark color to put in the other 2 corners. Actually, I already got one there, but you follow what I'm saying. All right. Now, got this kind of in a row. Let's do one over here. Get my point back. There, that is gorgeous. Okay, so now my next color is indigo. So I'm going to leave this brush as is, and I'm going to grab a whole bunch of indigo and add to this, and we're going to see where this goes. This is supposed to be indigo with Quinacridone Gold, excuse me, but we're going to go off the rails here for a minute, and we're just going to kind of have a little bit of a party over here with all these colors. I'm going to put this blue here. This is kind of like a blue-gray. Probably only going to do 3 of these. Well, you never know. Right down here, this area feels neglected. When you've got a dark color, you don't have to worry about your pencil line so much. Because like when you go over it with a pale yellow or something, it's really obvious the pencil line's underneath it. When you're doing this color, if you accidentally touch the pencil line, who knows? Who cares? Nobody can tell. Because it gets covered up by the paint. Alright, I'm going to take a moment, pause the camera, and I'm going to erase this border over here because I just want to. It's bothering me. Okay, I think I'm going to add some, kind of going off the reservation with my formula here, but I'm going to add some buff titanium. Quite a bit, actually, I think. Ooh, now I just made that all goopy. I'm going to really lighten this up. And then I'll go back to my formula in a minute. I just want to use up this pigment. See what we get with this. This will be much paler, I think. I hope. Yeah, it made almost like a, not a gray, but like a pale purple. But it leans towards a little bit of a blue, like a slate gray. And then I'll go back to my recipe here in a minute, just so I know I'm getting all my color combinations addressed, dealt with, whatever. But again, there's no have-tos here. And this lighter color, you can really, probably put it a bunch of different places too, and be happy about it because it's so neutral. Sorry, I'm a little off camera there. I think I'm just going to leave this color on my palette and then move on to the next combination, which was pink and buff titanium. Pink, you know what I mean. Quin Rose. Alright, let's start over here. Let's grab some Quin Rose. We'll just make a new pile. And then let's grab this buff titanium and put it in there. You know what? We're just going to grab this right here. It's a little off camera, but let's see if I can slide it in. It's really quite nice. It's really pale. It's like a pale pink. I like using buff titanium because it adds a it has a chalkiness, which is fun, but more than anything, it really gives you a not pastel, but it really milky. It's that milky, chalky. I don't know. It really just takes things down. It mutes things down. It calms them down, which is nice. Things aren't quite so as some of these other colors are, and there's nothing wrong with hello colors. I'm all about them at times, but at other times, you know, I really want things to, you know what, I don't think I did rose with turquoise. Pretty sure I didn't. Now that I think about it, I got sidetracked. It's all right, we can revisit. Like pink and green always looks really well together, and pink and purple. That's why this palette is such a nice combination of colors. All right, well, let's just grab a little. See what we get here. Grab a little mother while we're at it too. Really dim that down a little bit. I think we found purple again. But this is more grapey. Yeah, definitely grapey. Well, that's just it. It's all part of just playing around and finding some colors you like. And just practicing. Put some pink over here in the middle of all these yellows. Yeah. Scrub off sheet. Just took indigo, and there's a little blue on my palette already. It's in another paint, and it was pretty bright, but I added a little bit of mother to it, and that's all this is. So it turned it like a slate blue. It's quite pretty. cheating, but I don't care. It's my book. I can put anything in it I want to, right? Right. Mm-hmm. Grab some titanium and add to that. Let's see if we can get a really interesting color that way. I know we can, but to see what interesting color we'll get by adding some titanium to that. Buff titanium, I should have said, sorry. Yas, yas, yas. And I'm not being super precise with this. I could be a lot more slow and methodical. And some of the pieces I've done, I really take my time to make sure the shapes are all, I hate to use the word perfect, but more like you would expect the shape to be. I don't know if that's making any sense, but right now, obviously, I'm just kind of going at it. Just having fun. As you saw, I added some Cobalt Turquoise, and then I stole some of that dusty purple just because I wanted to. Because I heard my brain go, ooh, that'd be pretty. Or that could have potential. Everything has potential, right? And this is one of those projects where sometimes I'll sit down and just go straight through and record, well, paint. In this case, I'm also recording. And barely even take a break doing it. And feel no reason to stop. I get excited by the color mixes. I get excited by how the pattern's going, and I just barrel through it. And then other times I will have this sitting on my dining room table, and I will stop for 10 minutes and do a little bit, and then an hour later I'll come through and do 10 minutes more. And if I have any encouraging words to offer, it is just that. Don't feel like you have to have big blocks of time to do this. Set it up in a spot where you can revisit it in an hour or 2 hours or 2 days. When you walk past it and you go, yeah, I want to do that right now, then you do. Just my 2 cents. All right, I am now going to go a go outside and put a little pink in this. I really don't want to, but well, that definitely goes gray. Oh, we'll just do one. I know, it goes against my color balance, but we're just going to do one. And we're going to probably mop that up and start over. And by mop up, I mean I'm going to paint it on my off. I'm going to clean the brush. And now I'm going to brighten this thing up. I'm going to actually grab a little Quin Orange and see what happens when I put it in that. Quin Orange. Good grief. Quin Gold. What in the world am I saying? I don't know. I'm going to grab a little pink. Just cleaning up the mess, right? What, who cares what you make? As long as you're having fun. Wow. What the heck color? I just added some mother and I have no idea what I just got, but we're about to put it down. Oh, I got mud. Look. I made mud. And I overran my color. Yay. Boo. Okay, we're going to offload that color. We don't love that at all. Now I'm just cleaning up some of these wells. I'm just putting it on this paper over here, my scrub off sheet. Perfectly good pigment. All right, where did I leave off? I did Indigo. I don't think I did Indigo with Cobalt Turquoise. I didn't. That looks good. That's a nice color. I think I've achieved this color kind of accidentally up here, but that's okay. Next I'll add some buff titanium to it and see if we can get some nice teals going on. One of the colors I considered when I was making up this palette was Sleeping Beauty because it's such a pale aqua color. But because it's so granulating, I almost decided against it in a way, because I just didn't want to have such a pale color when I have such other vibrant colors in this palette. I don't know. I could have done it instead of buff titanium, I suppose, but then I didn't want two teals. The trouble with doing this hopscotch method of painting is that you really do have to mind where you're putting your hand, or walk away from time to time to give it time to dry, because it's going to it's going to trip you up if you're not careful. Then you're going to put your hand in it. I'm picking up some buff titanium, and I'm just going to start working in these pools over here to give me some paler colors. Just to give my clean my palette. It's going to be like twofold: clean my palette up, and then also at the same time just put some lighter colors in this piece. I have a lot of really dark toned colors, which are fine. Sometimes I don't have enough, and this time I find I have a little too much, so I'm just gonna step back a little bit with some of my colors and get a little softer. Yeah, and I'm kind of just having a little hodgepodge of a mess down here, I'm afraid, but that's the way it goes. Okay, so that's very gray. Not a big fan of gray. I mean, I am, but I don't need a lot of it. So let's pick up maybe a little. If in doubt, I always try to add turquoise or yellow. Those tend to, and I mean like a pale yellow, because those colors tend to, a blue rather, I meant to say blue. I try to add a blue or a yellow. Those tend to, I think our eyes see more greens and blues than anything in the world, and so if you add a green, but I've got plenty of yellow in this one, so I'm going to add some blues and greens is what I'm going to do right now, and just kind of start, I don't know, just filling in. Any place I've got a gray now, I'm going to start trying to put something a bit more vivid. I'm going to kind of go back and forth between my cobalt teal and my indigo. I don't want my indigo to be too dark like that, too dark, but it's okay. I'll just keep that indigo, keep going. And another square. See, there we go. Oh, it looks more like blue jeans right there. Oh, hence the word indigo, right? And I'll come back over here and pick a little of that up and I'll lighten that. Yeah. Ah, that'll look good right here. Mm-hmm. What I think I'm missing out of this palette is a nice green. A nice olivey green. This is green, but it's almost puce. It's almost too, I'm not even sure what that color is. It has a beautiful earthy green look, but it dries down much more yellow than I would like. Alright, let's just take straight up buff titanium and see if we can introduce a little beige moment here in the middle. See if we like that. Yeah, I do. Gives your eye a place to rest. Let's do another one. Down here with all these jewel tones. And maybe about here. Oopsie, that felt wet. Let's do a couple more. My mom's a quilter, and I know that in quilting, I don't quilt myself yet. You have to have you have to have enough neutral colors so that the pattern doesn't overwhelm you, or the colors don't overwhelm you. And I think this kind of is kind of like quilting in a way, and that you kind of want the same thing. You want some neutral colors, or some colors that don't jump out at you and don't steal your attention, so that the other colors can stand out. So if your piece is feeling heavy, and this one was, try adding in some buff titanium or something equally pale, and see if you can't get a more, see if it doesn't help it. And I've never studied color theory, I just know what my eye likes. And I know what my mom talks about when she was quilting. You notice I'm not putting the buff titanium around the, well, I did put one there, but I'm not putting it on the outside edge. I'm putting it in the middle next to other really bright, or clusters of bright, like right here. These are some really dark colors right here. And the gray does that in a way too, but the gray, I just don't want to be overrun with gray. I just want to have a little bit of gray. All right, what about right here? And now is an important stage where you want to interject. You still have the opportunity to put some neutral triangles in your piece before you get super saturated with the colors. Because at some point you're going to be too little too late. There's just not going to be an opportunity to add because all of your squares or triangles are getting full. I'm just looking for opportunities where there's super dark triangles to give them a little bit of a balance, a little bit of a lighter counterpart. But at the same time recognizing that if I have other light neutrals around too, to keep all that in perspective. I'm just rambling. Because at some point it's just painting, right? You're just putting paint to paper. And crossing your fingers that you like the outcome. I got a little bit left on my brush. I'm going to do this one and then I'm going to stop or just go to another color. I know you're screaming over there, but I can't hear you. All right. Okay, let's grab some colors and keep going. What the heck is that color? I don't know. All right. I really think I've got plenty of red in here. I feel like the indigo needs to be my next color that I kind of explore in depth. All right, let's do indigo. Ooh. Let's water it down with some of this gray. We're going to treat that like a mother. Oh, that's a nice color. When I say watered down, I meant desaturate it with color. Yeah, we like that color. There's another artist out there that I watch all the time. I think her name is Betty Franks. I think that's right. And she's not alone, but her name just comes to mind. And she's an acrylic artist, abstract florals mostly. And her flow, her process is where she starts with cool, for instance, and then she lays down a whole big old just field of cool colors and black and mark making and pencils and pens, and then she lets it dry, of course, and then she comes back over top of it, and her second layer is all warm, and she goes back and forth with this cool warm layers, and man, it makes the most dynamic paintings, and they're beautiful. She does beautiful work. Anyway, my point in bringing that up is that I'm kind of in that mode here, is where I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to work in cool for a little bit. Actually, a lot of this palette is cool, and then I'm going to switch back to warm, and then kind of work cool warm in my way. But yeah, that's where I was going with all that. That was a long way to get there, wasn't it? Sorry. Just grabbed some Cobalt Turquoise, and I'm adding it to my Indigo Mother mixture over here. And now I'm going to add a little bit of titanium. I really am trying to soften down this teal just a little. Here we go. Let's see if we like this. I'm having to I need a place to brace my hand, and I don't have one of those sticks, and I'm painting flat. I think I'm going to try to get a green. I think I'm going to try to go do some greens after this. I think that's what's missing. My eye keeps telling me something is missing. So I'm going to finish these teals, and then I'm going to go find some greens. Yep, I am. I'm gonna mix up some greens next. I may experiment with that off camera and then come back and tell you what I did. Okay, so that was pretty easy actually. I just turned that off just a second ago. I just grabbed a little Quin Gold and added it to this blue teal mixture I was messing with. And I got this kind of pretty cool green. Let's see how it looks in here. Oh yeah, there you are. Kind of a sappy green. Oh yeah, we like you. All right, let's spread you around the page. See, you can brighten our spirits here, green. Lift us out of the doldrums with your Kelly green. Not really a Kelly green, but you know what I mean. Let's see. So if I want to add more water, it's getting a little dry over here. I don't want to dilute it too much either. I was off camera there, sorry. Okay, let's see. Can get a couple more green triangles out of this guy. Oh yeah, I may do a bit more actually, because I'm really liking how the green is, I don't know, bringing a balance here that wasn't there before. At least not to my eyes it wasn't. If I don't be too sloppy and spread it out all over the place. Let's see. Sometimes I find as I get close to the end like this, it gets harder because I'm trying to decide what needs to go where. It gets slower, maybe is the better word. Because now I'm just kind of looking around going, what does it need? And it probably doesn't matter. I probably overthink it. But it's just how I roll, I think. Because I know when I'll come back to it later, I'll be like, well, why was I so whatever about that? Because look. But in the moment, you just think, well, But I read something recently that says our eyes see more blues and greens than the other colors. So I've been trying this experiment that when I'm not sure where to go next, it's go blue or go blue or go green. And I think I'm liking I think I'm liking things when I do that better. Especially if you've got a lot of colors going on already, like this one does. Tons of jewel tones and really rich, rather, almost autumn-like colors, even though it's not autumn. Doesn't matter. It feels like talking about quilts, it feels like a little bit of like a Civil War quilt, or, you know, one of those crazy quilts or patchy quilts. But nothing wrong with that. I'm a big fan of quilts and antiques, so it's right up my alley. You'll notice how this green is changing because I'm continuing to kind of sop up colors on this plate. And that's okay. It's good to get a range of hues, I think. What I'm looking for are, like, at this point, spots where I got a lot of white left. Like here, over here, got a lot of white left, but I just did 2 greens, so I'm not sure if I can put any more there. And I might be overdoing it with the greens, but that's okay. Okay, here we go. There's a little bit left over here. Let's grab a tad of water just to kind of pull everybody back into the middle of the pool, as it were. Just did a green here and a green there, so I won't do that, but I will do this one. And I can always come back with a white gel pen and reestablish my lines if I want to. I might not. Hard to say. Okay, I've still got to break up this white area down here. It's way too much. Let's put one in here. What do you say? That'll at least break up a little bit of this. There. Got 2 here. Do I want one there? Okay. Green's one of my favorite colors. Green and turquoise are like my colors that I just gravitate to. They're such good colors. Such earthy colors. Alright, I'm not going to put a green there. I don't think. I could put a green here. I know I just said no to that, but I don't know. This green feels like it's balancing things. Do you agree? Alright, let's add a little more Quin Gold and a little bit more Indigo. I can say it. I can talk. And then get that gray kind of mixed in there. Now we got a little, kind of like a more olivey green, not quite olive, but yeah, I think I'm just going to fill in everything that's got 2 green, two white blocks left. I'm gonna make one of them green. The only one left. Okay, so I got these two down here. Let's go. Now it's bending a little more olive. All the other colors on the plate that I'm forcing into the mix, but I don't care. Happy about it actually. Because now as it becomes a bit more olive, it if I'm putting it next to one of the brighter greens from earlier, it doesn't look so samey, right? And there's no rule that says you can't put a green next to a green. It's just my own rule. Silly rule, right? Okay, so now I'm gonna go back to any of the ones that now are like here. I could put a green here. I'm just gonna keep adding until because I don't know really what other bright colors I want to use. I think I've got enough yellow, got enough pink, got enough purple. I'm gonna have to do something with some of these though. And my green's looking more olive. Let's add a little more blue back into it. And a little more Quin Gold. Whoa, that's a lot of Quin Gold. Okay, then let's just grab a lot. Oh my word. What the heck? Oh my gracious. Did not intend that. Ladies and gentlemen, here's how not to make green. By grabbing too much indigo. I'm cleaning some indigo off on my brush over here so that I can add some Quin Gold over here without having too many regrets. Oh my. All right, well this is a nice deep rich green. Let's just do it. Oh wow, look at that. What a happy accident that is. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. What a happy accident that is. I love this. See? See what happens? That is the most beautiful green I've ever seen. Oh, love. I am loving this forest green or whatever this color is I just accidentally made. I'm thinking about filling it in more places than not. Especially where it's right on the edge. I think that's helpful. Where there's not a lot of green or whatever going on. But I'm just going to kind of go with it. Roll with it. Shoot from the hip. Because of course it dries lighter. But I think this green really kind of, I don't know, grounds it or something. Maybe that's just my justification for using green. I don't know. I just like it. And if you aren't doing what you like, what's the point, right? Oopsie, went over the edge. Oh well. We don't care. Alright, so for these last couple of triangles, I'm just grabbing a little bit of that dark foresty green that we've been doing. And now I added some buff titanium to it. And it's giving me like this sagey green, this chalky sagey green. I don't know if I'm going to like it or not, but it feels kind of like the color we were already dealing with earlier. But it might be a bit more opaque. But that's fine. Tempted to grab a little blue, a little more blue to put in it. Just kind of see what that might give us. Like that. Now we're just going rogue. Now we're just going off the reservation. Full bore. Oh, that's pretty. Here it go again, getting too much blue. Pretty colors. Just trying to grab a little blue just to vary give some variance to this green color. I don't want green to be everywhere, but yet I know it's really mellowing out the piece a lot, which I really like. Oh yeah, I like that a lot. Okay, so I think that brings us to the end of this guy, and I'm really happy with the results, and I thank you for stopping by, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.